You know that feeling when you open your banking app just to check, just to see where you're at, and your stomach drops a little? Not because you spent wildly, not because you did anything reckless, but because somehow, after working all month, paying rent, buying groceries, covering random little expenses that just appear, there's barely anything left. And then, this is the part that really messes with your head. You scroll your phone. You see someone your age buying a second house, someone younger launching a startup, someone talking casually about passive income while you're calculating whether ordering takeout tonight is a bad idea. And you think, what am I doing wrong? Because it feels personal. It feels like a failure, like everyone else got some secret instruction manual you missed. Honestly, I've spent way too much time thinking about money, how people build it, how people lose it, and why some people seem to move through life with this invisible financial cushion, while others are constantly bracing for impact. And the deeper I looked, the more I realized something uncomfortable. A lot of this isn't about working harder or being smarter or making better choices. It's about the system we're all swimming in. And once you really see how wealth inequality works, how it shapes stress, opportunity, health, even the way we see ourselves, you can't unsee it. It changes how you judge your past decisions. It changes how you think about success. And weirdly, it can actually make you feel less broken and more clear-headed. So let's talk about it. Not in an academic, buzzword-filled way, just honestly, like two people trying to make sense of the world. The gap isn't just big, it's a different universe. When people hear wealth inequality, they usually imagine a straight line. Rich people on one end, poor people on the other, and everyone else spread out in between. But that image is kind of misleading. It's not a line, it's more like separate planets. On one planet, money grows just by existing. Assets appreciate, investments compound, debt is cheap, mistakes are survivable. If something goes wrong, there's a safety net: family money, connections, savings, time. On the other planet, money evaporates. Rent eats most of it, emergencies are catastrophic, debt is expensive. One bad month can knock you back years. There's no cushion, just constant pressure. And the wild part, these planets don't orbit closer together over time. They drift further apart. Take a simple example. Two people graduate the same year. One gets help with tuition and graduates debt-free. The other takes loans. The first can invest immediately, take risks, move for better jobs. The second starts their adult life digging out of a hole. Same effort, same intelligence, totally different outcomes. Why it matters to you is simple. If you're struggling, it's probably not because you're lazy. And if you're doing okay, it's worth recognizing how much invisible help might be involved. The takeaway? Stop blaming yourself for structural disadvantages and stop assuming success is purely personal genius. Wealth buys time, and time is everything. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Wealth isn't just money, it's time. When you have money, you can wait, you can say no, you can recover. If you hate your job, you can quit and take time to find something better. If you want to start a business, you can survive the unprofitable months. If you get sick, you can rest instead of panicking. If you don't have money, every decision is urgent. Every choice is reactive. You're constantly optimizing for survival, not for growth. I remember talking to someone who said, "I'd love to learn new skills, but I'm just tired all the time." And yeah, of course they are. When you're juggling bills, commuting, side hustles, and anxiety, your brain doesn't have spare bandwidth for long-term planning. Wealth inequality means some people get to live in the future, while others are trapped in the present. Actionable takeaway? If you're short on money, be gentle with yourself about not planning enough. And if you have some financial breathing room, protect it fiercely. It's one of the most valuable assets you'll ever have. It warps how we judge people, including ourselves. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Wealth inequality messes with our morality. We start telling stories. Rich people are smart and disciplined. Poor people are irresponsible or bad with money. Even when we know that's oversimplified, those narratives sneak in, and then we turn them inward. If you're struggling, you don't just feel broke, you feel ashamed, you feel behind, you feel like an adult who didn't quite figure adulthood out. That shame is powerful and paralyzing. I've noticed people will avoid checking their finances not because they don't care, but because it hurts too much emotionally. Money becomes this moral scoreboard instead of a neutral tool. Wealth inequality amplifies that shame because it constantly puts extreme success and extreme struggle side by side. Why it matters? Shame keeps people stuck. It prevents learning, asking for help, and making clear decisions. Takeaway: separate your worth from your net worth ruthlessly. Money problems are logistical, not moral failures. Opportunity is not evenly distributed. We love the idea that talent rises to the top. It's comforting, but opportunity is uneven long before talent gets a chance to show up. Some kids grow up around books, tutors, safe neighborhoods, and adults who explain how the world works. Others grow up learning how to survive chaos, instability, and stress. Both develop skills, but only one set of skills is rewarded by the economy. Wealth inequality locks opportunity behind gates that look invisible if you've never tried to pass through them. Think about internships that don't pay, networking events that assume free time, jobs that require relocation. These aren't neutral filters. They favor people who already have resources. Actionable thought: if you're building something, hiring, teaching, mentoring, ask yourself who gets excluded by default. Small changes compound. It creates a constant low-level anxiety. Even if you're doing okay, wealth inequality creates this background hum of fear. You see how fragile life can be. One layoff, one illness, one bad year. You start optimizing everything: your career, your relationships, your choices. Not for joy, but for safety. That anxiety leaks into politics, culture, and personal life. People become more defensive, more transactional, less generous, not because they're bad, but because they're scared. A society with extreme inequality is a society constantly bracing for impact. Why it matters? Chronic stress isn't just uncomfortable, it changes how people think, vote, trust, and connect. Takeaway: financial stability isn't selfish, it's stabilizing, for you and for everyone around you. It shrinks empathy on both sides. This one surprised me. Extreme wealth isolates people too. When you're very rich, your problems stop resembling other people's problems. Your solutions stop being relatable. You start outsourcing discomfort: cleaning, cooking, logistics, even emotional labor. And on the other side, people struggling financially can't relate to decisions that assume safety nets. So empathy erodes, not because people are cruel, but because their lived realities diverge too far. Takeaway: talk about money honestly, across classes, without judgment. It's uncomfortable, but necessary. The system rewards ownership, not effort. This might be the core issue. Our economy rewards owning things more than doing things. If you own stocks, property, businesses, your wealth grows while you sleep. If you only own your labor, your income is capped by time and energy. That gap compounds relentlessly. You can work harder and still fall behind someone whose money works for them. That doesn't mean effort is useless. It means effort alone isn't enough. Actionable advice: if possible, shift some focus from just earning income to owning assets, even small ones, and support policies that broaden ownership, not just wages. Why this isn't just someone else's problem? It's tempting to think wealth inequality only matters if you're poor, or only if you're rich, but it affects everyone. It shapes crime rates, education quality, innovation, mental health, political stability. It determines whether societies feel cooperative or combative. A world where most people feel trapped is not a stable world. And on a personal level, understanding this helps you stop internalizing structural problems as personal failures. That alone can be life-changing. So, conclusion: a quieter, truer way forward. So yeah, wealth inequality is a problem not because some people have more, but because the gap distorts everything it touches. It steals time from some people and gives it to others. It turns money into morality. It limits opportunity before effort even begins. It keeps everyone, in different ways, a little bit anxious and disconnected. If you're struggling right now, I want you to hear this clearly. Your stress makes sense. Your exhaustion makes sense. Your progress doesn't have to look dramatic to be real. And if you're doing well, this isn't about guilt, it's about awareness, about understanding how much luck, timing, and structure play a role, and using that awareness to push for systems that work better for more people. You don't need to solve wealth inequality by yourself. None of us can. But you can stop letting it define your worth. You can be more compassionate with yourself and others. You can make choices that widen opportunity where you have influence. Change doesn't always start loud. Sometimes it starts quietly, with clearer thinking, with fewer lies we tell ourselves, with a little more honesty about how the world actually works. And honestly, that's a pretty solid place to begin. Thanks for watching our video. Like and subscribe our channel for more informative videos. Don't forget to press the bell icon and get notification of new videos.